Hello everyone, you're watching SGTV with Indranil Basu. Today we have a very special cricketer. He's the king, in domestic cricket, and it's so unfortunate we never saw him in India colours. Mr. Amol Mazumdar, a very warm welcome to SGTV.
Thank you very much. It was as warm as always with HG. Thank you, Indranil, for those kind words.
Yeah, but these are something which you created, no one else. But it's a proud moment for all Indians today. What happened in Tokyo, Mirabai Chanu winning that weightlifting silver medal. It was really special, isn't it, for every Indian?
Absolutely, and it's just start of the Olympics, and we're already on the medal tally. So I think it's a proud moment for all of us. In spite of all these, these difficult conditions, the pandemic around us, still to go out there and give it your best shot, it just takes some doing. So hats off to her, and come on, India, we need more gold and more silvers.
So true, so true. And earlier instances, whenever we went to the Olympics, we didn't get a great start. Like, you would understand the essence, the importance of a great start, isn't it? So when you get a great start, you have a solid foundation, then you can build on it. Now we have a great start in Tokyo.
If the great start is half the job done, as they
Yeah.
say. So we also had a good outing against New Zealand in hockey. We won
Yes.
3-2. So that's also something we need to cheer about. Next one is Australia, so it will be a little tough, but still keeping our fingers crossed.
Are you
Olympics
following?
is always the sporting atmosphere at Olympics is something to really cherish. Every Indian should cherish that.
But have you been following the games closely? It seems.
Yeah, I mean, I love other sports. Of course, I love cricket. There's no doubt about it. But I love other sports. To play, to try out something is my. I mean, I do everything very passionately. I do play a bit of tennis, Indranil. So I follow other sports very keenly, not just cricket.
This is the hallmark of a good sports person, which you have been for 20 years. I mean, the way you played, that was really remarkable. I mean, we look back, we talk about domestic cricket in last 2 decades. It has to be one person, Amol Mazumdar.
I mean, see, you've seen it all in domestic cricket. Sometimes when I sit back nowadays in my house and just relax a little bit, I sometimes can't believe that I went on to play 20 years of first class cricket because playing first class cricket. I think playing international cricket. I don't know. I mean, I'm not the best person to judge it, but playing international cricket, maybe you get into a comfort zone, but playing first class cricket for 2 decades, it 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 needs. Yeah, I mean, looking back at it needs some kind of a वो हम बोलते हैं ना कीड़ा बोलते हैं ना you need that kind of a thing, you need that passion, you need that little extra bit to go for 2 decades.
And traveling all over the country, playing in different conditions against different sort of teams. And not for a month. It's for close to 4 to 5 months, 6 months for domestic cricket. Really,
Yeah,
grind.
yeah, Indranil, that's something which really I'm proud about. That I went on to play 20 years in first class cricket. It's just the length and the breadth of the country that you travel. You see different oppositions. You encounter different administrators. You be in different teams. You have different teammates around. Not just this, but 6 months of first class cricket here and 5 months of almost club cricket in England
Yeah.
for almost 20 years without a break. Yeah, it had to be done, and I'm proud. I'm glad that it is over now. Now it's over. I can look back at it happily.
But and quality cricket, and which is what is remarkable about you. But what kept you going? I mean, every time you took a guard, you had something special to to offer for your team, whichever team you played for. That was really special.
Yeah, to be honest, the first 8 years in first class cricket, for the first, say for example, I mean, I played first class cricket in 1993,
96.
94
Yes,
season
yes.
under Ravi Shastri.
Yeah,
So, prior to that, I had played under 15, under 16, and 19 for Mumbai, and scored heavily in the domestic, in the junior tournaments.
mm,
So, the span of cricket that I played was almost 25 to 26 years, you can say.
mm.
So, you know, it started off in 1988, and it ended possibly what, 2013 was my
Yeah,
last season.
yeah.
2013 was my last season. I don't know what kept me going, but it's just the passion. The first 8 years of first class cricket in the Neil, I feel I played with a lot of passion to play for India. I took guard every time. I wanted to score heavily,
Yeah.
and then once I scored heavily in the first 3-4 years, the next 4 years went in protecting that reputation that I had built on.
So true, so true, and it shows, what sort of uh, reputation you have created. Every time, it's the biggest mystery in Indian cricket. Why Amol Mazumdar didn't play Test cricket? And did any at any point of time did any selector come to you and or a administrator? Did anyone talk to you about your chances, a glimmer of hope at some level?
Nay. I wasn't built that way. I really wasn't built that way. In fact, I remember once I had asked Ramakant Desai sir.
Hmm.
He was the chairman of selectors in 1996-97, where I
Yes.
had 100 in the quarterfinals, I had 100 in the semifinals, I had 100 in the finals, and I had 97 in the Irani Trophy.
Hmm.
So there were almost four consecutive hundreds,
Hmm.
and I wasn't picked in the first 45 of India.
Okay.
It was a mystery to me, and I almost cried that day in the dressing room. And I went up in the Mumbai. I remember we were playing Irani Trophy here at Wankhede Stadium, and I got the news that I wasn't there in the 45
Hmm.
for Challenger Trophy. I
Hmm.
went up and asked Desai sir very politely. I said, "What is wrong? Why am I not getting picked? What is wrong, sir?"
Hmm.
Uh, he didn't reply. Uh, he consoled me basically, but yeah, that was it. That was the only instance where I remember I went up to the selector and asked him. Otherwise, my business was to get runs. That's what I
Yeah.
believed.
And get with so much of style. I remember seeing you play. You were like completely not in that zone. You just had to do your job, and that was to go out there and score runs, and you did it so well, remarkably. What a brand ambassador of the game. Which all will be your three best knocks? So I mean, the entire career spanning over 20 years. Your three
Okay.
best knocks.
Uh, God, it's going to take some doing, this one. But okay, let's zone into one of the best knocks that I felt I had. Was 97 against Baroda
Okay.
in the semi-finals in 2006 and 7. It was a treacherous track at Motibag. Treacherous.
Hmm.
In fact, in the second innings, Mumbai were 0 for 5, 0 runs on the board, 5 wickets down.
Yeah.
It was that match. In the first innings, I scored 97. I played the entire day for 97. It was possibly my one of the better knocks.
Okay.
I was the last man out. I also happened to go past Ashok Mankad that day and that innings. That is
Okay.
why it is more special, because Kaka was watching. Kaka, as he is affectionately called,
Yeah.
Ashok Mankad. He was the coach of Baroda and he was watching it. So I was happy that I went past him in front of him, but against him.
Hmm.
So that is one.
That is
The,
one.
the second, I have to say the Ranji Trophy final 100 that I got against Delhi at Gwalior in 1996-97.
Okay.
That was one of the better knocks.
Hmm.
Not just that, given the occasion, given that the opposition,
Hmm.
we were, Raman Lamba, Ajay Sharma, some of the stalwarts of Delhi cricket were playing, and yeah, I got 148. I think 148 or 146. I may be wrong in that, but one of the two. And that was some knock. And we went on to win the Ranji Trophy under Sanjay Manjrekar at Gwalior. That is the only day-night final that has been played so far in the Ranji Trophy history.
Hmm.
And I happened to be the part of it, and got 100 in there. So that's second. The third one, I would say, come on, you're putting me on spot here. Right, I have to say my debut knock.
Okay.
My debut against Haryana at Faridabad under Ravi Shastri, the captain of Mumbai. Just came out of under 19s, had scored heavily, so I was confident. Went into the game and got 100, but went on to convert that 100 into a double hundred and a bigger one, even that 260. I was
Wonderful.
annoyed when I got out, but I was happy in the end. After 25 years, I can sit back and say that, hey, I got 260 on my debut.
And you also led Mumbai on so many successful occasions. But tell me something, when you started a season for Mumbai, so what would you tell the players that we are going to win this time again? How does it start? When every time Mumbai would be there, they would be, winning, and 41 titles. It's not a matter of joke. I mean, I don't think any state will even come closer to Mumbai's achievement. But how? I mean, that sort of, the team is so superior. So how do you start off your first, before the first game, when you guys meet for the first time in the season? So what do you tell each other? So this time we're going to win the trophy in this way, this fashion. I mean, I can imagine how confident the team is. Even it has passed on from generation to generation, which is remarkable.
It has been. I mean, to be honest, we never discuss about the trophies.
Okay.
We never discuss. I mean, in the 90s when I played with us, there was a strong unit around me. There
Yeah.
was some stalwarts of first class cricket, even international cricket, and it was a given basically that we are playing for the championship. No less than a championship would suffice.
Mm.
So I think you never speak about it, but in deep inside everyone, they know for a fact that it is a given that
Okay.
we are going to go for the championship. If somebody is there to challenge, let's see who challenges.
Yeah, that is
I
that's
mean,
been
we faltered. Of course, we faltered. It's not nothing. It's just the confidence that was exuded in the dressing room in Ranil. It was just, I don't know. It was something else. It was different, and the air was different. The atmosphere was different. There was a buzz always. We were happy to meet each other actually in the first game of the season, because we used to meet after 4 5 months layoff. Everyone used to run off to England to play club cricket.
Mm, mm.
So yeah, I mean, in that sense, I think Mumbai started favorite. Anything other than championship was a failure.
Wonderful. And this year, probably the feeling will come back when you're in the dressing room in capacity of a coach.
It's a different feeling. It is different. It's not when you're a player, you're in control of a lot of things.
Yes.
And I've realized over a period of time that if you're a coach, you're not in control of things. You're not in control. All you can do is control your emotions and control
Yeah.
uh, the the basic atmosphere in the dressing room.
Yeah.
That's all you can do. You can't go beyond that. So as a player, it was different, but as a coach, it would be certainly different, and I'm looking forward to it.
I've also enjoyed hearing your commentary because you're so hands-on with cricket. I mean, I'm seeing so many people doing commentary, but your was very special because you spoke from your heart first, and you know your stuff, you know your players, which is so important. And that combination is really lethal. And I've seen you doing an exceptional job as a commentator. So it's a loss for the commentary team actually. You will be with the Mumbai domestic team, and there has to be some bit of honesty flowing in. You have to call spade a spade when you're on air, and you have
Yeah,
displayed that. You've never hidden your emotion. If someone was not doing well, you've always gone for constructive criticism rather than attacking a player, because individual player in a team game attacking singling out players, that's not cricket. You have to. It's a team game. It's all put together. It's the team which is
absolutely.
doing it. So you can't pick and choose. Pujara didn't do well. This guy didn't do well. Virat Kohli didn't do well. Rahane. No, it's not like that. It's a unit, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, of course, the media work that I did is completely close to my heart. As I said earlier, whatever I did, whether it was playing cricket or any other sport that I play, I, I, I play with a lot of passion. I do a lot of things with passion.
Mm.
I did my commentary stints with a lot of passion, but there were some thumb rules which I didn't forget. And I had those thumb rules on my own. I made it up on my own. My only thumb rule during commentary stints was that I do tend to put myself in the player's shoes first. Some of them, they forget about it,
Mm.
that they were players
That's some yes,
initially.
yes, yes, yes.
But it was a thumb rule for me while doing commentary that I never forgot that I was a player first. And that's one of the reason why I'm doing commentary, why the mic is in my hand, because I'm a player. Otherwise, there are 10 other guys who would do that. Because I've played this game, that is one of the reason why I've been given the mic in my hand. So I should
Yes,
not forget that.
yeah.
So that was a thumb rule which I followed, and I even in future, if I go back, so I will definitely follow that. That's something which I is close to my heart.
So true. But which is something which you enjoy the most, coaching or doing commentary?
Commentary, I like it. Coaching, I love.
Wow, very smart. It's- this is a very smart this thing. But yeah, I mean, whatever comes your way, you grab it. That's what, and you'll never shy away from challenges. You've been like that sort of a player, and it was remarkable. Every time you get up to a news of your 100 from Mumbai, Amol slams another century. That used to be the common thing on newspapers. It was so pleasing. And do you keep paper cuttings of your all your exploits of 20 years? Do you have a
I didn't, but my family did.
oh
Yeah, and you won't believe this, but only
no
about a week back, we are renovating our house, and
yeah
that I happened to find a box, a massive box. My mother had kept it. My mother has they have shifted. My father and mother, they have shifted out of Mumbai, and they said, Amol, you need to keep this box. So I thought, what is it in it? I opened the box up only last week, and I happened to see a lot of cuttings. I said, God, what are they kept? But I spent about a couple of hours just reading, going through it. Yeah, it was fantastic. I'd never seen those cuttings. So yeah. I mean, sometimes you feel that I've not collected over a period of time for 20 years, but my parents and my wife did collect. My sister collected initially, and then my wife has kept a lot of cuttings. Yeah. My
But
daughter sometimes gets amazed. What's this? How did he look so young and so? Why didn't you cut your hair over here? She keeps saying that, but it's fun. It's good.
no, but it's little sad that we don't have local coverages in newspapers anymore. That in that way, what it used to be in
True.
90s. That
Very
really
true.
gave us a lot of you must have realized that when you're playing for Mumbai as under 16, under 19, so many news used to come that what Amol did on the pitch. So that should be should be
Right.
revived. It should be in circulation all the time. You can't compromise local coverage, which a lot of newspaper do, which is quite sad when I see. But coming to that Mumbai culture of winning, I mean, who was your best captain? You've also led Mumbai with distinction, but who was your best captain under which captain you really? I mean, you wanted to get into his shoes. That kind of a captain.
Uh, I think there is a choice between two,
Hmm.
and next time I meet the number two, what I
Ah.
say just now, I'll have to do some explaining to him.
Okay. No.
Number one would be definitely Ravi Shastri.
Yeah.
Although just one season he led us, but he left a remarkable mark on all of us, all youngsters who were coming through. That 93-94 season was a special one.
Yes.
Mumbai won Ranji Trophy
Hmm.
after 9 years.
Hmm.
After 9 years. In 84, they had won, and after that, they won in 93-94 under Ravi Shastri. It was a fabulous, fabulous season.
Hmm.
I think the number one has to be Ravi Shastri, without a doubt. He just instilled a lot of confidence. We looked up to him, and he was just a massive personality in the dressing room. He was at a different level.
And even today also, he's the only guy who can stand up to Virat Kohli in the dressing room.
He was one of the few guys or captains that I feel he was a player's captain.
Okay,
जो player को चाहिए
absolutely.
वो करेगा. But he was an authority in the dressing room.
That's why Virat loves him, because when they were, Anil Kumble was on his, he was getting an extension, whether to give him an extension or not. That sort of dilly dallying was happening. That time Virat said, "I want Ravi Shastri to be back in the Indian dressing room." He's still there and he's doing a great job. A lot of people, I mean, I remember 2007 we lost the World Cup and Greg Chappell left the team, and Indian cricket had to go back to Ravi Shastri. And he said, "I am enjoying my commentary, don't bring me in." And he went there because it was call of duty, and he went there and he changed the entire, the mindset of the team. We won in Bangladesh, then following that we won the World T20 in South Africa, the inaugural World T20. And Ravi Shastri, so he's got that impactful presence in the dressing room.
He
And
has. He has.
and someone who batted at number 10 or 11 went up to open for India. That is a really a wonderful story. I mean, everyone should learn that it's cricket is it's so much to offer if you want
You
to.
know, I feel so. I sometimes I feel sad for the guys who make fun of ex cricketers.
Yeah,
I don't want to name them, but I sometimes feel I really feel sad for them that they do have half knowledge.
yeah.
This man, Ravi Shankar Shastri, ever since he has entered the Indian dressing room in 1979,
Hmm.
he has led a life at that level. He has never come down. Now, for a guy to live that life, that charm life, not just charm but pressure life all the time for
Yeah,
40 years,
yeah,
whether it was playing, whether it was winning the champion of champions, whether it was winning the Ranji Trophy with Mumbai youngsters, whether it was commentary, whether it was saying the lines in the 2011 World Cup that we won, whether it was 2007 T20 World Cup, he was there. He's been there and done that.
Yeah.
And people with half of his knowledge,
Yeah.
half of his achievement, not even half,
Yeah.
they keep talking about him. I feel sad because that man has led a superb life for 40 years.
Now the pressure bit I really liked because he's someone who's really balancing out so well in the dressing room. And as we look forward, like 2021 with the World T20, 22 we have a World T20, 23 we have World Cup 50 over at home. So we need him to continue. That's we're talking about Rahul Dravid. He's also his contribution is humongous. You know, he's a huge player, big player, and everyone respects him. But there's time and space for everyone. You know, someone has done good work. He should continue doing what he's doing. But coming to talent, are you do you belong to that school that someone who has talent should be given long rope in cricket?
It depends what long rope you're talking about. I mean, I played with some of the guys who had enormous talent.
Yeah,
They lacked in discipline, some of them, but uh, but they made it up with the talent. The time and day is different today because you know you need a lot of fitness, lot of fielding effort. Times have changed. You cannot hide somebody now
yeah,
in the field.
yeah,
It depends what kind of a long rope are you talking about. I would definitely go around him a little bit. Try if there is a problem as a coach. If there is a problem, I would go around that problem. Try and solve it. If I cannot solve that, then go through it.
you know, because we got a lot of talent. I mean, a lot of batsmen in world cricket by just giving them a long rope. You know, I'm talking about Virendra Sehwag, one name which comes to mind, Rohit Sharma. So these are the guys who had talent, but initially they didn't have that sort of impactful innings. But look at the way they went out to become such big stars in Indian
See,
cricket.
sometimes, Indranil, what happens is that a captain or a coach, they have a strong instinct about a player. Instincts. It's
Yeah.
just instincts. It's just cricketing instincts that comes from the knowledge that you have, the experience that you have gathered, all those things, and that instincts you need to back those cricketing instincts.
Mm.
And I'm that kind of a person. I've led also. My captaincy revolved around a lot of instincts. You have a hunch about a player that this guy would go on to become something. Give him a little bit of a backing. Try and back him up. Try and give him that confidence. Try and give him that space, that time. Well, everyone has got time and space to prosper. Some do, some don't.
Yeah. But coming to Indian cricket, it's been a talking point that we have a huge robust system right now. We can send one team to England, one to Sri Lanka, one to probably Zimbabwe tomorrow if BCCI wishes to. So and another team to Bangladesh. You know, I mean, 100 players are ready. Was it that robust during your time? Was it? I mean, I know it was very tough to get into the team in your time because otherwise you would have played. If you would have been playing today, you'd have certainly played for India. The sort of
Well,
talent, sort of technique, sort of uh, passion you have for the game. It's so unfortunate that during that time it was not as open as it is today, isn't it? If you perform today, you're definitely going to get a chance for sure for a series. Has things changed a little bit from what it was during your time in 90s?
it's a lovely question, Indranil. It's a lovely question. Whether it was as robust as the
Because when I
90s.
see players like you, it was of course robust, extremely robust. It was.
There are two ways to look at it, I think.
Huh.
Either you can say that it is the same, and but the only thing is the opportunities are more.
Hmm.
or you can say for a fact that Indian cricket has prospered in the last 15 years or so, ever since the advent of IPL cricket. It has changed guards. Uh, I don't know how to say it, but people look forward to come to India nowadays.
Yeah.
People didn't want to come to India at one stage. You know,
Mm.
there were times in the 70s and 80s people refused to tour India or or the subcontinent, but now they all want to come and play. There is a paradigm shift in a lot of stuff,
Yeah.
administrating wise or even cricketing wise. Things have changed over the period of time, and also for a fact, Indrani, not to forget, probably the cricketing standard all across the globe
Mm.
has internationally come down a little bit. It has segregated into just few countries like Australia, New Zealand, England, and India.
Yeah.
I cannot say the same about West Indies, unfortunately, about South Africa, unfortunately, about Sri Lanka,
Pakistan, Bangladesh.
Pakistan, Bangladesh, and all other countries.
Yeah.
So at that time, in the 90s when I was playing, even Zimbabwe were a team to beat.
Yes.
They had a very good side. So
Absolutely.
the cricket was well spread at that time, but now it's segregated to certain nations, and that's why also you can see Indian cricket as robust as you can see it, because you could not see that robustness at that time because the quality of all other teams was on equal par.
So true.
Does
Very
that
well
make sense?
explained. Yeah, yeah, of course it does. Of course it does. And I remember there was a time we used to play all the big boards like West Indies to play against India.
Yeah.
So we used to pay money. I mean, there's a lot of stories, behind the scenes stories, which BCCI has. We used to actually pay money to these rich and superior test playing nations and to play against India. That's how we developed. Whatever, that's the good old days. But, talking about your cricket, who all would be your best bowlers, you've played against? I mean, you've faced who? I mean, top three bowlers you really admired the most and you really loved challenging. I mean, loved the challenge. Facing them. Who all would be those bowlers?
The first one comes to my mind, the best one and the quickest was Javagal Srinath.
Yes.
Sri was quick and he was awkward. His ball used to come, hit the deck, and it used to shift inwards.
Yeah.
So it was always on in your
On the
rib
rib.
cage.
Yeah.
So which you didn't, nobody likes it. Nobody. So yeah, I think he was probably the best. The second I would say would be Zahir.
Okay.
Zahir was again a master at moving
Moving
it.
ball. Yeah.
When he was young, and he was actually, there is a story about Zahir I would like to share here.
Yeah.
Um, when he was coming into the Mumbai team, he came from a small town called Sri Rampur in Maharashtra.
Yeah.
It is near Shirdi,
Mm.
Nasik. And he came to Mumbai. He shifted his base to Mumbai to play cricket, and he was drafted into the Mumbai team. And he was in the probables. And whenever Zahir was on, invariably I used to come and bat in the nets at Wankhede Stadium. And those days, no covers. It used to be a Wankhede Stadium, 7:30 in the morning. There used to be a little bit of dew.
Yes.
The pitch was a little sort of a flyer, and red soil surface, a little bit of clay on it, had a little bit of bounce. Yeah.
Yes.
And Zahir was the only guy who used to hit me on my inner thigh, and I
Oh.
was the only. In those days, I didn't bother to wear a helmet. A lot of times, I did not wear a helmet. A lot of times, um, no arm pad, chest pad. I did not believe in this. He used to hurt my inner thigh, and I happened to call SG, and I got my inner thigh pad, first inner thigh pad, and I can't remember who was then. And he said, "अमोल भाई क्या हो गया, आप inner thigh pad मांग रहे हो, first time मांग रहे हो आप?" मैं बोला, हाँ यार, एक बॉलर है जहीर खान, वो मेरे पैड पे, अंदर पैड पे ही मार रहा है. अच्छा, ओके ओके, भेजता हूँ. So that's how I started using the inner thigh pad. It was because of Zahir Khan. Yeah, those two bowlers come to my mind. And third one, of course, the best spinner of them lot, Anil.
Yeah,
Anil Kumble.
yeah, absolutely. But those were the golden days. I mean, when you grew up, who was that batsman you really looked up to? One batsman, you really wanted to be like him.
There was there was no doubt in my mind. It was only Sunil Gavaskar. So Gavaskar sir was the epitome of batting, and I still believe it.
Yeah.
He was an epitome of batting. Epitome. I mean, when I was a child, I always wanted to be like Gavaskar. I remember when he got his 29th 100 at Delhi. Uh, the moment he got his 100, I remember watching it on a television set in our neighborhood. We didn't have a television by then. And in our neighborhood, the moment he got 100, I started dancing. I went out, and I was on the streets. I didn't care about who got the other runs. So Sunil Gavaskar was somebody who I always looked up to, and I'm always in awe of Mr. Gavaskar.
And meeting him for the first time, how was it? As a child prodigy, you go up
Wow,
to.
wow, it was
Can
just
you
great.
tell
I
tell
met
us
him.
the story?
Yeah, it was just great. I met him in a although Rohan was playing with me, Rohan, his son, was playing with me under 15. I was Rohan's captain, under 15 captain, under 16 captain as well. Never saw him. Never saw Mr. Gavaskar anywhere around. First time I met him was in 1992, 91, and that was in England. We were touring Star Cricket Club. Kailash Gatani had taken the
Yeah.
Star Cricket Club tour to England, and yeah, I happened to meet him at a function. I was surprised that he knew me. He knew who this young kid is, and I happened to talk to him for about 15-20 minutes. My day was done, my tour was done. I was happy as Larry.
But I mean, he's another great ambassador. I mean, he's also the ambassador of SG. So I would like to know your SG story. I mean, what was your how you saw, you scored tons and tons of runs, and thanks to those SG bats. Can you tell us those moments? How special was SG bat?
Very special,
Yeah.
very special. um, I started off with Simons
Okay.
way back in 1986. I think I started off,
Yeah.
and there was Simons bat, new ones, new in the market. So my father had told me that if you get 100, I may buy you a bat. So I got 100 in the school game, and then he bought me a bat. That was Simons. But then later on, when I went on to play for Bombay under 15, under 16, Hemant Wangankar was instrumental in me bringing to SG.
Okay.
Um, and Puneet Bhai was there,
Yeah.
and he used to always be so caring and so loving. He sent me a lot of kit. I played a lot with SG, almost all my life. There was one regret that I had, one regret, Indranil, and I would like to specify here, whoever is watching, in 1997, 98,
uh,
I was lured to play with another brand for one season, and that was the worst season of my life. So I shifted back to SD the following year. I said nothing doing. This is my blood, and honestly, when I held an SG bat in my hand, and today I tell this very proudly to my daughter and my wife, who are a good spectator at home.
mm,
Uh, I keep telling them, when I held an SG bat in my hand, and when I saw that sticker, I knew that it was just an extension of my hands. It was just brilliant.
absolutely.
It just melted into your hands, and it still does.
Yeah.
It just melts into your hand. And I remember so many times. There was one Ranji Trophy game where I happened to get the kit the previous day, previous afternoon,
Yeah.
and everyone was saying, "Oh, अरे अभी kit आया तेरा, late आया, बड़ा late आया ये." I said, "No, it's SG. This is an honest fact." I tore off the plastic sheet, put
Okay.
it out, got it out of the cover, and I went in to play a first class game. There was no knocking, nothing, no, not even a feel for the ball. It was just SG. It was just an extension. So you took it out from the cover, and you felt at home. And I
And you
still,
straight away took it to the match.
yeah, 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 straight
I mean,
into the game. No knocking, no feel of the ball. Also, the first ball, and there have been instances of first ball I've hit for a boundary. I've flicked. There were a couple of times flicked for a four. I still remember those fours because it was confidence, no, with SG. There was no
and, and,
other.
and And equipment is such an important thing for cricketers. If things are in order, you get a good sleep also, isn't it? Your bat is in order, it's in shape, And
Everything,
SG
everything.
took care of so many cricketers like this.
Yeah, I mean it's just remarkable, the quality that
Yeah,
has been with SG. It's always
yeah,
been with quality, the
yeah.
gloves. They used to send me those gloves with. I had fickle fingers. This little thumb of mine has been broken 15 times. So yeah, so I used to
Not
order for
15 times.
extra
It can
extra
be 15 times.
protection. Sorry,
It can be 15 times. Come on.
15 times, 15
Isn't
times,
it?
15 times fracture.
Isn't it? My God.
Yeah, yeah, all because of bad, yeah, playing in Kangali 2 or 3 times. I broke the finger. A couple of times in England. Yeah, but SG used to send me those gloves with extra protection. So it was just brilliant with SG. I loved it. I loved it. I honestly did.
And little things, they take care of all the cricketers. It's not only the top tier, which is the top star cricketers they're catering to. It's all over. It's junior cricketers, it's Ranji Trophy cricketers. It's amazing. They've created a
I mean,
culture.
I'm an example of that. I mean, if you want, I'm a complete example. From under 16, or probably towards my 19, under 19 stage. From there on, they looked after. They gave me bats. They gave me everything. And I realized at a very young age, I realized that bats for a batsman is everything.
Yes,
You don't go
absolutely.
for some other stuff. Although
Yeah.
I did for 1 year, I regretted that. But yeah, I mean, it is everything. Bat is everything for a batsman.
And that's why you could create such examples. You're such a brilliant brand ambassador of the game. But looking at today's cricket culture, it's more IPL driven. Somewhere down the line, because I am personally would judge a cricketer by looking at how that cricketer would play in days cricket, which is Ranji Trophy. But sadly, it's all. I know everyone is looking for security. Everyone is looking for some sort of stability in life. IPL gives you that, but even Ranji Trophy, if you're playing regularly, you're making more than 50 lakhs per year, which is quite a handsome amount for a first-class cricketer. And if you have an IPL contract, you do well. So it's more of an IPL-driven cricket which is happening. Do you think it's good for Indian cricket? And I mean, you should also have Ranji Trophy, which has been the pipeline for so many years.
Yeah, I personally believe that there will be a shift because everything has got its expiry date written on it,
Yeah,
and that is not. And I don't think 5 day cricket is made for that. There's no expiry date for 5 day cricket. It's Ranji Trophy will will go on.
so true.
IPL has been a great extension of the sort of brand of cricket what we are looking at. But Ranji Trophy is the ultimate, I feel. I
Absolutely.
personally believe that BCCI should do something um, or create a channel, create a path for the Ranji Trophy cricketers and reward them with IPL contracts. I've had these
Agreed.
arguments with a lot of cricketers, and I keep banging my head on in that create a pathway. Sort of see, say for example, if I am a cricketer now, you have you have kept and I'm सोने की थाली सामने रखी है मेरे
Mm,
सामने
mm,
आईपीएल नाम की चीज
mm,
और आप बोल रहे हो उससे उसमें से खाओ मत ऐसे कैसे होगा ये नहीं हो सकता
mm.
it won't happen I will be lured towards it
Yeah, yeah.
because I'm a cricketer of modern generation I'm not a cricketer of past generation
Mm.
but as administrators, we need to make sure that we create a pathway for a Ranji Trophy highest run getter or a highest wicket taker. You know, give them placements in the 8 teams or 10 teams.
Mm.
And you see if you create a pathway, people will keep coming and playing Ranji Trophy because they know for a fact that this is a pathway towards IPL contract. If that is luring them, that's fine. You
Absolutely.
understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely. Very
Does that make sense?
a wonderful suggestion. I hope Saurav Ganguly, he's a former captain, he's a BCCI president. Jay
So
Shah, secretary. They they
four
should.
best batsmen, four best bowlers, Indranil, give them placements in four IPL teams. You have 25 players, you have 24 players. Add one to that. Simple. Create a pathway. You see, people will start playing Ranji Trophy with vigor. With they will come and play because they know for a fact that if I perform here, I will get a straight entry into the IPL.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And this is a lovely suggestion. I hope BCCI would do something like this in future. And you guys like you should be there, giving, consulting with BCCI, giving them the right suggestion. They're doing a phenomenal job otherwise. But just to make it more attractive, because Ranji Trophy is the ultimate identity of a good cricketer. If you have played good Ranji Trophy season, it will give you so much confidence for life. And Amol Mazumdar, you are the Jita Jagta example in front of me. Someone who's and you were always ready to play for India. So and when you play for Mumbai for that many years, you're as good as playing for India. You're as good as an Indian player. So that's what the spirit is. You created that spirit. Thanks a lot for coming on SGTV, sharing your mind. You are brilliant as always.
Thank you.
Keep doing well. Keep rocking. This time with Mumbai team, you'll be really hungry as a coach. And I'm sure don't get carried away when your Mumbai boys are there. I know Ranji Trophy didn't happen last year, but you have that sort of passion. You might go out and bat.
No, unless I have an SG, I wouldn't have that confidence, to go out there.
Okay. So thanks a lot. It was really pleasure chatting with a legend. You're a real legend. I have to tell you that.
Thank you.
Coming on SGTV, it was a pleasure. Really, take care. Stay safe and keep winning and keep smiling. Thanks a lot.
Lovely to chat
Bye-bye.
to you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.